Welcome back to London Fakir, and today we've got an absolute treat lined up for you. We are going to be reviewing one of the most diverse entities in the whole wide world, Indian street food. Hello and welcome to the second episode of London Fakir. We've got an absolute treat lined up for you. I have ordered today something that is very close to my heart, something that is incredibly diverse, and something that I've longed for a very, very long time. So I've ordered Indian street food from a small niche restaurant. I don't even think they are a restaurant. I mean, they are a restaurant, but they don't have a sit-in facility, so they're just a takeaway and delivery, so it works perfectly in COVID. But they make really good Indian street food. Now, what is Indian street food? There's no definition, and it's one of the most diverse things on earth. But this restaurant is called Chowpatty, named after a very famous beach in Bombay. Now, if you've ever been to Bombay and if you've ever been to Chowpatty, like the plethora of street food is just incredible. You'll find things that will make you laugh. You'll find things that will make you cry. You'll find things that will give you a lot of pain because it's so spicy and brilliant. But it's just so diverse and so dynamic, and it just represents our country so well. The beautiful chaos, and I thought, let's just show you some of the things that you get there. So today, lined up, this star lineup wherein we've got something called a Sev Puri. A Sev Puri is it's very complicated, but it's very simple yet complicated, and the base is like a crunchy cracker, and then you've got some fried noodles made out of chickpea flour. And then you've got potato, you've got peanuts, you've got a spicy sauce, and you've got a sweet sauce. It's just incredible. The flavors are just brilliant. Then you've got something which is called as Indian Chinese. Now I'll come to that a little bit later, but it's one of the most interesting cuisines in the world because the Chinese have no idea that India has its own version of Chinese food. So it's absolutely brilliant. So we've got Schezwan fried rice, my favorite. It's just rice and Schezwan sauce and spring onions and a lot of other vegetables that don't really matter. It's just sauce that really gives it the flavor. You've got something called as a gobi manchurian, which is cauliflower manchurian. Don't ask me what a manchurian is. It's one of those Indian concoctions, and we call it our own. And then we've got chili paneer. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have tried chili paneer, even if you've never been to India. It's quite popular here in the UK. This food, it's a weird combination, right? Sev Puri is purely Indian, and then you've got Indian Chinese that you get all over India. It's a weird combination. I hope it tastes good, but the perfect condiment with any Indian food. And if you go to India, there are two drinks, right? And these are the Indian equivalents of your Coke and Pepsi, but so much better. It's like Coke and Pepsi on God mode. You've got something called a limca, which is my favorite drink in the world, and it's nothing but it's a lemony drink, but if you ever eat Indian food, this is what goes well with it because it completely washes away all of the spices from your palate, and it's got this unique lemony taste. Oh jeez, I just can't wait to get started. Right, it's the favorite time of the day for me when I get to eat good food, and authentic Indian food. There's nothing better than that. So last time we tried the butter chicken, it was absolutely brilliant, and apparently I made a lot of weird noises, but that's how I react when there's fantastic food, and nothing's going to change that. So if you want to watch that video, I'll put the link somewhere on the screen. I don't know if I'm pointing towards the right place, but do check it out. It's hopefully it'll give you some idea as to what the kind of butter chicken available in London. Right, so I won't waste any more time. I've spoken a lot about all of this wonderful food that's available and that's on my table. Now is the time when I try it out. So I'll take a bit of the Schezwan fried rice, which is one of my favorite dishes in the world. And then I will take some of the gobi manchurian. And this is just a breathtaking combination if you've ever tried them together. And then I'll take some of the chili paneer. Right. But I've taken all of this on my plate. I will start with my favorite, the Sev Puri. It's like pocket-sized bombs of taste. And as soon as you put these in your mouth, it's heaven. It's absolute heaven. I've been asked not to speak while I'm eating, but just can't help myself. This is. I wish you could be here to taste it if you think that I'm over exaggerating, but this is just the textures. It's just. After a tiring day at work, all you need, I think alcohol is overrated. All you need is one bite of this Sev Puri. It's just incredible. I think this never disappoints. It's expensive. It's a bit expensive. It's £8, which is roughly about 800 Indian rupees. And if you go to India, you get it for about 20 Indian rupees. So they're charging 40 times the cost. I know it's a completely baseless comparison, but it is absolutely breathtaking. I'm tempted to take one more, but I think I'll leave it for today because my wife will absolutely kill me if I don't leave a lot of Sev Puri for her. So I'm not getting into that zone. Anyway, time to try the Indian Chinese. Indo-Chinese is just a cuisine in itself. Like, it has nothing in common with the actual Chinese cuisine. And how do I know this? Because I come from a city called Calcutta. That is where the Indian Chinese food was born. Because early immigrants from China came and resided in Kolkata, and they opened little shops to sell Chinese food. Now, they didn't have much of an idea of what the Indian palate is like, so they used to make what they ate in China, and they failed miserably. None of the restaurants worked because it was just not catered to the Indian palate. And so what they did was they Indianized the Chinese food by adding in a lot of garlic, a lot of ginger, a lot of spices, and voila, you have this magical cuisine called Indian Chinese, which the Chinese have no idea about, or at least my Chinese friends had absolutely no idea about. I took them to a restaurant one day, an Indian Chinese restaurant in Calcutta, and they had the food and they're like, wow, what is this taste? It's just one of the best things we've ever had. I'm like, this is Chinese food. This is Indian Chinese food. And they had no idea what it was. So this is fantastic. It's fascinating. You can read so much about it online. It's fascinating. I've grown up with it and this is one of my personal favorites. And it's not just in Kolkata now, it's spread across India. So wherever you'll go, you'll find Indian Chinese. It's a cult favorite. And there's so many good Indian Chinese restaurants in London. Unfortunately, I'm not being able to go and visit them now because of the lockdown. But as soon as the lockdown opens up, or as soon as things open up, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you my favorite Indian Chinese restaurant in England, in London. It's absolutely breathtaking. Anyway, too much talking. To the food now. Expensive. It's not inexpensive. It's quite expensive. Let's see if the taste matches the price. It's all right. It's all right. It's not as authentic as I thought it would be. Actually, this is the first time I'm trying this from this restaurant. They used to mainly do Bombay street food, which is the likes of pav bhaji and vada pav. I'll do videos on that later to explain, but this is all right. I mean, this is nothing to really go crazy about. It's all right. Let me try a bit of the gobi manchurian and see if it adds anything special to the taste. It's quite nice, but it's not the Sev Puri or the butter chicken standard. Let me try it with some chilli paneer. I mean, there's a homely feel to it, but is it the Indian Chinese food that I've grown up eating? Probably not. Is this the best thing I've ever eaten? Probably not, but close. Let me just have another one of these to cleanse my palate. This is okay, but this is quite another level. Just fantastic. Anyway, I'll leave you all with that. It's a one-time try. If you've never had Indian Chinese food, you could eat this, but it's not going to give you the right idea about what Indian Chinese is. It's very tasty, but it's not what I've grown up with. But this, please do try it. Sev Puri from Chowpatty. I'll share the details of where the restaurant is, how you can call and get a home delivery scheduled. This is fantastic, and they've got other similar items as well. I will do a video on that later, and they do it really well. But just the Indian Chinese, I don't think they've nailed it yet. So do share these videos and do subscribe and do like. It gives me a lot of encouragement, and do comment If you've ever had Indian street food, do tell me as to what your favorite dish is. And maybe I'll search for it all across London or maybe even the world and find a place that sells it and does authentic versions of it. And then I'll make videos for you. But for today, that's all. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. And see you next time on London Fakir.